Can you just give us a little overview of your thoughts about the Champions League last 16 ties? If you can kick us off with maybe obviously your own PSG against a very, very dangerous Atalanta side.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very keen to see how this one plays out. Atalanta was the draw that I hoped PSG would get. Not because I think it's an easy draw or that it's part of the best route for PSG to the final, but it's just that I particularly wanted to see how PSG would fare against Atalanta. They're sort of the neutrals' favourite at this moment in time. Some of the football they've been playing this season, is absolutely phenomenal. They're sort of the feel-good story of football in 2020 as well, a year that's obviously been very difficult for everyone around the world, but particularly in the football world, they've kind of personified the sort of battle against COVID, particularly as Bergamo was so badly hit by it, and I think that I don't know. It's one of those ones that could go either way. It really depends. I think who is sharper on the day. Obviously, Atalanta have a lot of match practice playing into their favour. But PSG have arguably more star power. But that's, I think, where Atalanta are at their most dangerous, because you look at that team and a lot of people are saying, okay, there's no star turn there. There's no there's no obvious threat, especially with somebody like Ilicic most likely missing out. And that, I think, is the beauty of this Atalanta side. That they all have roles to play. They're interchangeable. They can play in a multitude of positions. And they're very highly motivated, and it's just very, very pure football that they play. And I'm very keen to see how this one unfolds. It's so tight. It's difficult to call.
Yeah, definitely, I'd agree. I think it's the hardest one to pick actually out of and then the other French side coming up against Juventus with a slight advantage going to the second leg.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's a big benefit. And I'd say Lyon played well against PSG as well, which bodes well for them. They were able to limit them, keep them without scoring for 90 minutes. And if Lyon were to do that against Juventus, then that puts them through, courtesy of their first leg goal. So, a lot of pressure on Lyon going into this one. They know that if they don't advance, that's it for European football for them next season. And that'll be the first time in around 20 years that Lyon haven't been in any form of European competition, which is massive. Will be a huge blow for the club. So I think based on what I saw last week in the Coupe de la Ligue final, Lyon definitely have the ability to stifle the Juventus attack, especially if there's question marks over Dybala as well, and his ability to take part.
I mean, there's a few ties that you could argue are write-offs with the Bayern Munich tie, for example. You never know in football, but I'm just going off of the first legs. Barcelona-Napoli. How do you see that one?
Yeah, I mean, Barca-Napoli is another interesting one. It's sort of the best time to come up against Barca at the moment because they're very close to the end of a cycle. Napoli seem to have found a second wind under Gennaro Gattuso. They're doing some good business as well. Picked up Osimhen from Lille, so okay, he's not going to be able to do anything this season, but looking to the future, things seem a bit more positive now at Napoli than they were sort of in the last season or so. So no, it wouldn't surprise me if Napoli were able to get something against Barca.
With the Serie A, actually, I know obviously I've seen lots of tweets going up in the last few days of Juve have won it again and they've won another title again in 9 years or whatever. But when I look at that top 7, top 8, there's potential for that league to be very, very exciting next season. I know Lazio have had an outstanding year. Atalanta as well. Inter looks strong, finishing only a point behind Juve in the end. I know they took their foot off the gas, but that Serie A could be back to its best next year.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's definitely a league to keep an eye on. It's a shame that Lazio seemed to just fall away completely after the restart. I'm keen to see if they'll be able to hang on to their main, their main pieces and go again next season. Atalanta, I think it'll depend on whether or not they get pillaged over the summer, because whenever you form a team on such a shoestring budget as they have, I think the tendency is when a club like that performs well, a lot of other clubs see potential value in some of their players and swoop in and take them away. So I think it's a question really of who strengthens the best this summer as to who might be able to put Juventus under a bit more pressure next season. Because the gap seems to be shortening on Juventus all the time. And, you're right, perhaps somebody will be able to, have the consistency needed just to knock them off the top, like Monaco did with PSG a couple of seasons ago in Ligue 1.
Yeah, let's hope so. So to finish off, Jonathan, in a word, Champions League winners are?
It's in one word. It's very difficult to sum up. I would say lucky, because I think whoever wins it, considering the nature of the way that this tournament, the competition is going to play out, they're going to have to be lucky, because games every couple of days, the risk of injuries is going to be high. We've already seen that with some teams who have come back to competitive action only recently. So I think that whoever is able to keep their players fittest, obviously, out of the most talented sides, probably stands the best chance. It wouldn't surprise me to see a team like PSG reach the final, given their pathway, to the final itself. But there are still some hurdles along the way. Potential banana skins on the road, and I think that clubs, especially with coaches who have a lot of experience, at this sort of stage of the competition, will also be able to fare well. So, I mean, if you're looking at PSG's potential route to the final, I'd say that, Atletico Madrid potentially, pose the biggest threat to their safe passage into the final.
And probably the team with the biggest squad will help as well, won't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, people have debated the additional substitutes rule since the restart. I mean, we've seen in the Premier League, Villa, just about surviving. Don't really have that strength in depth where they're able to make the most of those kind of changes. So it's a bit of a flawed argument to say that, it protects the smaller clubs who don't have that strength in depth, like Chelsea, for example, who are able to bring on pretty much an almost all-star ensemble of players from the bench when they play.
I really enjoyed that, Jonathan. Thank you so much for your time.
No, thanks a lot for having me on, anytime.
Brilliant.